Certainly. Here's an essay titled The Rise of an African Giant. Part 2, Ibrahim Traore, written as a continuation of the story of Africa's resurgence, focusing now on the leadership of Burkina Faso's Captain Ibrahim Traore. The Rise of an African Giant, Part 2. Ibrahim Traore. In the turbulent annals of Africa's 21st century awakening, the figure of Ibrahim Traore has emerged not merely as a military leader, but as a symbol of continental defiance and transformation. As the dust settled from decades of neo-colonial influence, rising insecurity, and socio-political stagnation, Burkina Faso, long considered peripheral on the geopolitical map, found itself thrust into the center of Africa's struggle for autonomy and dignity. With the ascent of Captain Ibrahim Traore in 2022, the continent witnessed the rise of one of its youngest leaders, a man whose ideals harken back to the revolutionary spirit of Thomas Sankara, yet are fiercely shaped by the urgency of a modern crisis. From soldier to statesman, at only 34 years old when he assumed power, Traore's rise shocked the world. A trained artillery officer and a product of Burkina Faso's military ranks, he was not initially seen as a political figure. However, as Islamist insurgencies tore through the Sahel, leaving devastation in their wake, public confidence in traditional political leadership evaporated. Traore led a coup that ousted interim President Paul-Henri Damiba, promising a new direction, one rooted in national sovereignty, Pan-Africanism, and a fearless approach to security. His swift transition from uniform to podium echoed a growing sentiment across West Africa, the belief that conventional politics had failed, and that younger, more assertive leadership was required to defend African interests. Unlike many of his predecessors, Traore spoke directly to the people, not just of Burkina Faso, but of Africa. His words were blunt, his posture unyielding. Where some saw authoritarianism, others saw resolve. The battle for security and sovereignty. Traore inherited a nation at war. Nearly half of Burkina Faso was under threat from jihadist groups affiliated with Al-Qaeda and ISIS. His immediate priority became clear: liberate the land, restore safety, and re-establish control without bowing to foreign powers. He launched a massive recruitment drive for volunteer defense fighters and invested heavily in local defense initiatives. Unlike previous administrations that leaned heavily on French and Western military support, Traore took bold steps to diversify Burkina Faso's alliances, notably engaging with Russia and neighboring Sahelian states. This recalibration sent shockwaves across the international scene. France, which had historically maintained a deep presence in Burkina Faso, saw its influence sharply curtailed. French troops were ordered to leave, and national discourse began to reject the vestiges of colonialism and dependency. The move was controversial, but it reflected a broader Sahelian mood, a collective desire to reclaim destiny and define national security on African terms. Pan-Africanism reawakened. More than a national figure, Ibrahim Traore began to symbolize a regional movement. Alongside leaders like Assimi Goïta in Mali and Abdourahmane Chiani in Niger, he spearheaded what some have dubbed the New Sahelian Bloc. These nations, bound by shared security challenges and similar ideological leanings, began exploring closer cooperation. They spoke of federation, regional self-defense, and economic independence, conversations that echo the Pan-African dreams of Kwame Nkrumah and Julius Nyerere. Traore's speeches often strike chords of historical consciousness. He references Sankara with reverence, yet asserts a distinct vision, one that is grounded in present-day realities. Education, agriculture, and youth empowerment are at the heart of his agenda, even amid a war footing. Africa will rise when its youth rise, he has declared, an acknowledgement that the continent's demographic boom is both its greatest challenge and its greatest hope. Challenges and criticisms. However, the path of revolution is never without its shadows. Detractors have raised concerns about human rights violations, press freedom, and the long-term sustainability of military-led governance. The question of how power will be transitioned, whether democracy will eventually return, remains a pivotal one. Critics argue that in trying to escape foreign domination, some Sahelian states may risk falling into new dependencies or internal repression. Traore, for his part, maintains that the priority is survival, both of the state and of the people. "You cannot talk of elections when your villages are burning," he stated in response to external pressure for swift democratic processes. His stance continues to polarize opinion, yet it underscores a critical African reality. Peace is the precursor to politics. Thank you for watching this video. Support us by liking and share our video.